Well, ever since Halloween 5 ended up disappointing in 1989, the film series took a good long break thanks to its creator and presenter, Mustafa Akkad. But in 1995, 3 years ago today, Michael Myers was back again. So prepare yourselves, because here's a re review of Halloween The Curse of Michael Myers. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a re review of the 1995 slasher flick Halloween The Curse of Michael Myers, released by Dimension Films, directed by Joe Chappelle, written by Daniel Farrans, starring Donald Pleasence in his final film performance, along with Paul Rudd, Marianne Hagan, and Mitch Ryan. This is a sequel to Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and sixth installment in the film series of Halloween. This time around, Michael Myers is hunting down the infant son of his niece, Jamie Lloyd. It expands significantly upon the supernatural horror elements that were sparsely introduced in the previous film. Mainly the subplot of a cult that controls Myers and drives him to murder his bloodline using the ancient rune of Thorn. This also marked the final appearance of Donald Pleasence as Dr. Sam Loomis before his death, as well as the feature film debut of Paul Rudd, who portrays an adult Tommy Doyle from the first film. This also marks the last major role of George P. Wilbur before his death in 2023. The film was released on this day, September 29th, 1995. Henceforth, today's the film's 30th anniversary. The film did okay, but maybe not that great and what have you. But it really got hit hard by the critics, though. Now, if you didn't see my re-reviews of the previous film or any others, you can check out by going to that playlist, and you can catch them if you might have missed them or if you want to see them again. This will mean that I've re-reviewed every single Halloween film in the franchise. Maybe not in no particular order, but you know what I mean. That means only Halloween Resurrection has yet to be re-reviewed. We'll see if I do that sometime sooner. Okay, here we go. 6 years after escaping the Hanfield police station, Michael Myers and his niece Jamie Lloyd have been abducted by the Man in Black and his druid like cult at an unknown facility with medical staff. By Halloween Eve, a now 15-year-old Jamie has been impregnated and gives birth. With the help of a nurse who soon becomes Michael's first victim, she escapes with her baby in a stolen pickup truck with Michael in pursuit. Meanwhile, a now retired Dr. Loomis is visited by his friend Dr. Terrence Wynn, the chief administrator of Smith's Grove Sanitarium, where Michael had been incarcerated as a boy. As Wynn asks Loomis to return to Smith's Grove, they overhear Jamie's plea for help on a local radio station. Michael catches up with Jamie and kills her, only to find that she has hidden her child elsewhere. In Haddonfield, the old Myers house is now owned by relatives of Laurie Strode's adopted family, John and Deborah Strode, their adult children Kara and Tim, and Kara's 6-year-old son Danny, who is tormented by visions of the Man in Black telling him to kill. At the Blankenship boarding house across the street from lives Tommy Doyle, the boy Laurie babysat in 1978, now a recluse obsessed with Michael's motives. Also hearing Jamie's cry for help, Tommy tracks the call down to a bus station and finds the baby, whom he names Stephen. Tommy crosses paths with Loomis, who visits Deborah to warn her. After Loomis leaves, Michael kills Deborah with an axe. Tommy locates Kara and Danny and takes them to safety at the boarding house. He tells Kara that he believes Michael is under the influence of Thorn, an ancient druid curse that drives a person to kill their family on Halloween, and that Stephen will be his final sacrifice. Tommy then leaves to meet Loomis at the local harvest festival. Michael electrocutes John in his home before going to the Harvest Festival and killing shock jock Barry Sims, after which he follows Kara's brother Tim and his girlfriend Beth back to their house. Meanwhile, Mrs. Blankenship recounts the history of Halloween today and tells Kara she was babysitting Michael the night he killed his sister, in which he heard a voice telling him to do so. Mrs. Blankenship also states how Danny hears the same voice, implying that Danny is to follow down the same path. The man in black beckons Danny to the Myers house. Kara rescues Danny, discovering the corpses of Tim, Beth, and Deborah upstairs, and is pursued by Michael. Upon returning to the boarding house, they discover the man in black to be Dr. Wynne. Cult members burst in and, with the help of Mrs. Blankenship, abduct Kara, Danny, and Stephen and take them to Smith's Grove. Kara is locked in a maximum security ward while the boys are kept in an operating room. Now for the ending, you better stop this video right now. You got 5 seconds to stop this. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below. As I count down now, if you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Tommy and Loomis go to the sanitarium where Loomis confronts Wynne, who insinuates that the Smiths Grove staff have been studying pure evil to learn how to control it. Stephen is implied to be the successful result of this. Wynne wants Loomis to join him as he was the first to recognize the full power of Michael's evil. Loomis refuses and is knocked out by a doctor. Meanwhile, Tommy frees Kara as Michael pursues them through the sanitarium. They watch as Wynne and his team prepare for a surgical procedure before Michael suddenly appears and turns against the cult, killing them all. Tommy and Kara rescue the kids as Michael chases them into a laboratory containing fetuses from Wynne's failed experiments to clone Michael's DNA. Tommy injects Michael with corrosive liquid and beats him unconscious with a lead pipe. Tommy, Kara, and the children leave Smith's Grove while Loomis stays behind, saying he has some business to attend to. Inside, Michael's mask lies alone on the lab floor as Loomis screams in the background, leaving their fates unknown. End of story. So, what did I think of Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers? I'm going to say it's okay and what have you. It might not be my favorite of the Halloween series, though. I think I'd rather say I kind of prefer this over the last one, even Resurrection, which that is still easily my least favorite in the franchise. But even so, I will say it's fine what have you. It's fine, but it's not really that great though. Upon its release, the film made $15 million on its $5 million budget. Though it eventually lost to the serial killer thriller Seven, which beat it to the top of the box office, at least it made the first film in the series to be on par with Halloween 2's opening weekend gross, surpassing the previous 2 films. So making it a modest hit. Anyway, the film is the second lowest grossing entry in the franchise, ahead of only the previous film. The reviews are terrible. It sits at a mere 8% on Rotten Tomatoes, saying the film trades the simple, brutal effectiveness of the original for convoluted mysticism with disastrously dull results. Metacritic has a holds it at 10 out of 100. It is the lowest rated Halloween film on both Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. Variety called the film tired and run-of-the-mill. San Francisco Chronicle said the film lacked suspense and said that not even the presence of the late gloriously histrionic, yeah, Donald Pleasence can liven things up, deeming it bland, deadening, and by far the worst in the series. The New York Times called the film's script impossibly convoluted and wrote that shock effects are applied with such ham-fisted regularity that they quickly backfire. Yeah, I just feel like this just didn't have enough power. It got nominated for two Stinkers Bad Movie Awards, one for Worst Sequel and one for the sequel nobody was clamoring for, but lost. It got nominated for Worst Film at the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, where it won, and then later on it won Best DVD or Blu-ray Collection as part of a Halloween collection at the Saturn Awards in 2015. Now, later on, there would be another version of this film called The Producer's Cut. Though it was released bootleg and widely, some fans and film critics argued that it was the superior version of the film. Well, well, though I've never seen it, I am going to say that it's much more of different and what have you, because we get to see, well, how should I put it? More of the story of the Thorn cult, and also more of Sam Loomis. That's it. Some of the kills were probably a little more different as well, but then in the same spots. But anyway, yeah. The producer's cut developed a cult following, and then soon it got released on physical media by Scream Factory as part of their Halloween series released in 2014. Soon there would be another sequel. Dimension will release 3 years later in Halloween H2O 20 years later, which does not contain any references to the Jamie Lloyd storyline of the prior of this and the previous two films, although they were featured in the original script and comic book tie-ins published by Chaos Comics, instead serving as a direct sequel to 1981's Halloween 2. They still the one of the good things though is that Alan Howard is back on board to do the score, like he's done with several of the other Halloween films. Since even though John Carpenter was Splitsville from this, even though this was based on the characters he and Deborah Hill created, but anyway, yeah. For the cast, we have Donald Pleasence back in his last performance as Dr. Sam Loomis. He passed away after principal photography was done, so they had to do some more shoots, reshoots, and what have you. But still, he's fine, what have you. It's one good thing. Now, Paul Rudd making his first big splash. Unfortunately, people weren't really impressed with him. This was even before, well, just right after he had recently done Clueless. He plays a grown-up Tommy Doyle, and he's credited as Paul Stephen Rudd. Well, I'm gonna say, who cares what they say? He's fine and what have you. Marianne Hagan played Kara Strode. I will say, very good. Well, a pretty good performance. Maybe not very good, a good performance. Mitch Ryan as Dr. Wynn, good performance. Devin Garner as Danny, fine. They got J.C. Brandy to play Jamie Lloyd. Now, unfortunately, Danielle Harris was to be back, but after they were going to lend her some money, a lot of money, but they soon tell her she gets killed early on. Then soon she turned it down. In the producer's cut, you do see archived footage of her as young Jamie. However, Keith Bogard played Tim Strode, fine. Mariah O'Brien, Beth, not too bad. Kim Darby is Deborah, not too bad. Bradford English is John, not too bad. George P. Wilbur makes his return as Michael Myers. I'm going to say he was good. I think he was probably one of the good things. Yeah. Aside from Donald Pleasence, George P. Wilbur, I think, was one of the things actually critics did like in this film. Yes, he did a real good job. They managed to get Michael's mask looking a little much better than what I saw in the last film. But anyway, yeah, criticism was found on its weak story, its ending, and what have you. But the origin story given to Michael Myers so also got this. But Pleasance's performance and the look of Michael Myers was better received, and that's completely understandable. Because as the poster says, terror never rests in peace. But anyway, with everything said, Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers, not the best, but at least it's a little bit better than the last film. But you don't have to take my word for it. As always, we're all entitled to our own opinions. So everything said, it's okay. So would I recommend it? Well, I'll only recommend you give it a one-time watch if you are a hardcore completionist like me, because even though I like this, like Halloween 5 and Resurrection, since those are my least favorites in the franchise, I'll still watch them once in a while if I'm watching all of them. Okay, for if since I'm a hardcore completionist. So, what did you think of Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, be a part of the Big D Nation, and you know the rest. Join me next time when I bring to you my TV log on the original MacGyver. So, if you like this, you may want to check out some of these other films. Now, I'll go ahead and give you some from the playlist, even though I reference it and what have you. So if you like, check out my re-reviews for these other films from the Halloween franchise I had re-reviewed. The upper left-hand corner is my re-review on the next film, Halloween H2O, 20 years later from 1998. Or you can check out my re-review of the Halloween reboot from 2018, which completely ignores everything the franchise offered. Or you can go to the bottom left hand corner and see my spoiler free review of the last film in Blumhouse's trilogy, In Halloween Ends from 2022. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, on the Big D Sing, see ya.